any society is how it treats its women and girls. The measure of any society is how it treats its women and girls.
We create
The smart, powerful, creative, accomplished young women.
We can fight.
I'm here because of you. I'm here because girls like you inspire me.
Buckle up, buttercups. It's another episode of Surly Voices here on WMNF Tampa 88.5. My name is Liz. I'm one of your hosts. My co-hosts, Donna and Maria, are joining me via Zoom. How are y'all?
I will be in the studio in just a second. I'm doing great.
Oh, yay. Okay. It'll be good to see you, Donna. And Maria, how are you?
I'm great, Liz. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Can't say I'm great.
Well, I could live in a country that actually believed in democracy, but here we are.
Perspective, exactly.
So
I'm not rendered to Louisiana. Let's just put it that way.
But so do we want to take bets on whether the government will actually shut down? Maria?
No, I'm not putting my money on that. I don't know what those people are doing.
That's a good question. I don't trust that we will find a single vertebrate among the Democrats.
Amen.
So,
spineless. Yeah. And it's infuriating to me the more I talk to my sister is a moderate Democrat. And I'm like, there's no such thing anymore because the pendulum has swung so far right that even moderate Democrats are now right of Ronald Reagan. And she's like, well, we're trying to court the votes. And I'm like, the only people you should be courting are on the left because those are the ones that are left behind. There's a lot of people on the far left that are finding themselves without a political home because you got folks like Pennsatucky Shrek who is just like, oh, I can't possibly vote for the government shutdown. So it's like, why did your constituents elect you to just roll over and do whatever the Republicans want you to do? I mean, golly, what's the point? So, and Pennsatucky Shrek, for those who haven't heard me call him that before, is Fetterman. So, but anyway, it seems like there is no one there with a spine, and I see the Democrats at large are very disenchanted with the lot of them. And it's like the days of reaching across the aisle are over. We are at war and they do not seem to realize it. So that's my 2 cents. Maria, what have you to say about that?
Say that again?
I said the Democrats, the majority of the Democrats in this country, do not realize that the days of reaching across the aisle are over. We are at war, and it's like somebody. I was reading a meme the other day, and it said the Democrats are like bringing milk to a knife fight. So
the quote unquote Democrats. Those people that occupy those seats in Congress are not in touch with their constituents.
Exactly.
I would not say that Democrats in general are people who believe themselves to be Democrats in principle are they are more outraged, and they lack the representation in Congress and in Washington.
I think the next time these seats come up for election, it's going to be a melee. It's going to be like, okay, y'all didn't do anything, so now we're going to put somebody there who can. Oh, wait, hold on.
Okay.
Donna's here.
Before we start taking callers this morning, we have a guest for you.
Ooh.
If you didn't get a chance to see the promo on Surly Voices, take a moment right now to look up Surly Voices and join our page. There is another page that we are tangentially affiliated with. And it is called Surly Feminists for the Revolution. That has over 10,000 people on it. But the Surly Voices page is specific to our radio and is consistent with our brand. So take a moment to look for us on Facebook. And next week we'll have a Twitter and a TikTok for you. I mean, not a Twitter.
No.
Circle, white light. Not Twitter. You will have an Instagram and a Twitter for you. I mean, a TikTok for you. TikTok is the word I'm looking for this morning.
TikTok.
Okay, so here's what we got. We've got Courtney Marie, and Courtney is the founder. Also, you want to take a look at this page as well, of the Claudia Jones and Rosa Luxemburg Institute for Multiracial Movements. You could also join that page on Facebook, and she's going to bring you, as we do, fresh perspective that you don't hear anywhere else. She was also instrumental in her work with CASA in Action in helping, after the ACA passed, getting the insulin down to $35.
Thank you.
Here's one of the people that you have to thank for that. And so this young person is out there on the front lines, trying to survive the world as it is, but also bringing you fresh thought, helping you work through. She spends all of her time doing this so you guys don't have to think so hard, right? Like, we'll take you right to the source and give you the sources. You can go and do some of the research for yourselves, but these are the type of people that are spending their time trying to help you work through this and help you resist in a way that has impact. Courtney, are you with us this morning?
I am. Thank you so much for your lovely introduction. I'm so blessed and humbled to be here this morning. And thank you for recognizing my organizing efforts.
Absolutely. Sometimes we feel like it's thankless work, right? I was just driving down the street this morning, and as I was turning the corner out of my subdivision, I thought, you know what? I'm so glad I get paid to do this stuff. Because there are people out here who are just doing it, and they're like wondering about their life choices, right?
You don't.
Yes.
Let's be clear. You don't get paid to do this radio show.
No, we're all 7 years of volunteering.
Yeah, we're looking for a serious deal.
Yeah, I mean, like my other work, right? So I think that deserves to be clarified. So, Courtney, what's on your mind? Like, we're going to do this free form. I think we had a pre-discussion leading to this where we talked about the censoring of Al Green.
Yes, I want to talk about that.
And I'd like for you to get right into it. Now, if you're calling in this morning, the number is 813-433-0885. Gosh, my Southern accent is getting thicker.
I hear it.
Down here. Wow.
Same.
Oh, my goodness. And when I came from New York, people said they thought I was from New York. And now I sound like Paula Deen. Okay. You can send an email to dj@wmnf.org. We do read your emails. However, if you send them at the end of the show,
we won't have time.
We won't have time. So send your emails now. Give us an opportunity. And that was a text number, 813-433. If you're at work and you can't call, you text us at 813-433-0885. You call us if you want to talk to us, 813-239-9663. And you send your emails to dj@wmnf.org. The other thing I'll say is if you want to call in, we're going to work you around. The best time to call in, I would say, is past the halfway mark, a little after 10:30. We've talked all of our stuff, and you guys are ready to talk back to us. So, Courtney, tell us about the censoring of the Greens.
Okay, so Rep. Al Green was censured, they voted to censure Rep. Al Green because he protested during the State of the Union. And it was very just a simple protest. I don't remember the song that he used, but it's a traditional song, that we use in the African American church. If you grew up in the church, you would hear that song. I wasn't able to do as much research on this as I would have liked because so much has happened this week. It has been overwhelming to the senses, as Donna and I have discussed. But basically, he, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries agreed, with Trump that, he should be punished. Rep. Al Green was physically removed from the chamber of, the floor during the State of the Union. And it's very disheartening, very personally upsetting to see that he stood up for us. He stood up, for the fact that Republicans want to cut Medicaid. Cutting Medicaid would devastate millions of lives in this country. So it's very disheartening that, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries basically sided with Trump in so many words. He did have an interesting reasoning behind why he did so, but I still don't agree with his actions. And then there were also 10 Democrats in swing states. They're not in swing states. So actually, they voted to censure him with the Republicans, those 10 Democrats. I don't know their names off the top of my head. But, basically they're in safe districts, so they didn't even have to vote with the Republicans.
There was no point.
Yes.
And you know what's important to note about this, I think, Courtney, is that the Republicans are riding with, look at Dr. Tillis, voting to confirm RFK, knowing this man was a danger to the people of America. He was derelict in his duties to make decisions that benefit Americans when, as a doctor, as a medical doctor, we're talking 20 years of education from when he was a wee lad, right? He spent 20 years in thousands of hours learning why vaccines are important and how science works on the human body. And I got something. We say we have tea. Here's the tea. Says the FBI called him up. Yeah, you guys missed that?
Oh, yeah.
Wow, I did miss that. Yeah.
There's so much to look at. Yes. You got to miss some
You
things.
have to have eyes around your head. Like what is it? The animal that has the eyes all around? A fly. You have to have as many eyes as the fly to see all this stuff, right? And so the FBI called him up and coached him a little bit. And then he said, and he denied saying this later because he is scared. What we're hearing from the inside is that there's real threat. We're, meaning me. What I'm hearing from the inside is that there is a real threat to the physical personhood of individuals who break ranks. The reason why I said that, what prompted me to say that, is if people are being threatened, their family, their property, their person, then you're going to have people who are making decisions not on our behalf, but to protect themselves and their families. And that's a tough situation to be in.
Yeah.
I think I would just pack up my bag and go home. But then if you do that,
then you lose anyway.
You've got more people in harm's way.
Right.
So this thing has gotten real. And as you can see, when Donald Trump goes after the Clinton lawyers, right, when he puts a Tesla in front of the White House and does an infomercial for Elon, there's so many things happening. But people are afraid. And the people who aren't afraid, and I'm going to go out on a limb here and say this, my sister Jasmine, I appreciate her not being afraid, right? But at a certain point, it becomes a self-indulgence to say, hey, rush me $5. Remember that lady that told me to meet her outside? well, I'm fighting the patriarchy and I'm fighting the Trump, so rush me $5. And at that point,
It becomes,
she becomes a blue trumpet in my mind. Like you're using this to
Right.
edify yourself. And now
Yes.
it's a long infomercial for I'm a bad girl.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I like that. How does that feel to you, Courtney?
A lot of people have profited off of, running against Trump being in office. Yes. And it disgusts me. There's no other words for it.
yeah, because I was all in her camp until she started asking for money. And I'm like, seriously?
And I said, girl, you don't need $5 more to do your job.
Right.
And she's wealthy.
Exactly.
She's a multimillionaire now. And like all of them, they're never, listen, I ain't
nobody
never-
doing nothing for free.
I ain't never seen people take a job and you get $175,000 a year plus some perks, right? Best health insurance in the world. They've got their own doctor that'll come down to the floor and bandage you up right there inside of the...
Probably believes in vaccines, too.
Probably believes in vaccines and probably a Democrat if he lives in D.C. And they said that someone fell, Mitch McConnell fell, and he came back with a brace and a wheelchair, and he never left the building.
Oh.
Yeah, they got their own doctor in there. So you got your own health care, you got $175, you've got housing allowance, you're flying everywhere, you've got a diplomatic passport now. I mean, you are living the life. We're talking about the ultimate employee account, right?
Yeah.
Per diems, everything. So you're not spending a lot of your money. But how do you become a multimillionaire in 4 years? Do you know? Remember the article that, and I'm going to bring this back because I'm all over the place. Remember the article where Frost, whom I adore, I think he's a masterful politician, young, on fire. I see a great career for him. But he was complaining about not being able to find an apartment and being able to afford to live in D.C. Net worth now on Open Secrets, $1.5 million.
Wow. Well, it's like
Maxwell
AOC. That
Frost.
she had that whole thing.
You say what?
Maxwell Frost?
Yes, he's worth $1.5
Really?
million now.
Already?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
That is shocking.
Let's take a pause real quick to talk to Gary because he called in and then he dropped off and then he called in again. So let's just see what Gary has to say. Hi, Gary in St. Petersburg. Hello.
Hello?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I'm a white guy,
Yeah.
I'm always embarrassed by it. But I'm a white gay guy, and I've been living with HIV for 35 years. And I'm afraid my medicine is taken from me.
So you're feeling or afraid to feel the impact of
Yeah,
all this government
I
cuts.
just- I don't know what to do.
Yeah. Well, thank you for calling, Gary. We're going to discuss that in a second. And keep listening, and our thoughts are with you. Thank you.
And send us your texts and your emails. We're going to be moving into calls, but maybe about 10, 12 minutes here.
Yeah.
Okay.
But getting back to Al Green, I am infuriated that Democrats,
Censoring themselves.
yes,
I think that Jeffries doesn't see himself as one of them. Courtney, you were going to say.
Oh, no, I was entirely agreeing. He doesn't see himself as one of them. No.
He's one of the good ones. And we know as black women, there's 3 black women in the room, and we know where we've seen that before. You want to be one of the good ones, and you're not like that one, right? Like this,
Right.
He thinks of himself as maybe a presidential candidate. And let's just jump right over there into that pool. So speaking of the P word, it seems to me that, what's his name? Tim Walz is mad.
oh boy,
He says that he was kept. They pulled him back. Remember when we were complaining about his performance at the vice presidential debate?
yes,
Well, they basically gave him a list of things he couldn't say
wow,
and ways that he couldn't confront. And remember how people got excited when he said weird?
right?
Not one of the 7 words you can't say. on there.
Right.
He said they're weird, and they are weird.
They are weird.
And as you can see by what's happening, the rest of the world is like weird. And he said what everyone else was thinking, the way that Trump says what his base is thinking, and it kind of activated people. Yeah, they are weird. And people started saying, and the news reporters started repeating it the same way they do with Trump on the right, and it was working with some of their own medicine. They said, oh, let's not do that. Let's stay in our lane. We're not that party.
Yeah, Democrats snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. That should be their new tagline.
Ezra Klein. Did you get a chance to look at the Ezra Klein article, Courtney? Yesterday, I got a text and an intro from Ezra Klein, and it said that in order for Democrats, there is a path forward here. But in order for there to be a true path forward, they first have to admit their past mistakes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes, definitely.
Nobody wants the Truth and Reconciliation Commission to start doing business in their town because we're going to find out why Democrats lost.
Right? Exactly. The truth behind it. Yes.
We learned that in school. You cannot solve your problem until you name your problem.
Exactly.
Did you get a chance to see that article, Courtney?
I've been following Ezra Klein for over a decade now. I really respect him as a thinker. He's often criticized on the left, I think unfairly, and grouped in with, other centrist opinion writers, I would say. But I think he's always taken, the threat of Trump very seriously, the threat to our democracy gravely seriously. And I completely agree with that. We can't fix anything going forward if we don't look at and examine the past mistakes that have been made, and many mistakes have been made.
So a lot of people are thinking to themselves, okay, so Trump has a vendetta against the people that he feels that harmed him. And I think that it's a normal human emotion to want to extract revenge for what we believe are harms done. But in a mind that is not thinking with normal waves, this person, when someone tries to, it's called gaslighting. Mm-hmm. When you reach to harm someone and they defend themselves. Now, Black people know all about this. And they call the defense aggression.
Yes.
And then they punish it.
And I have seen that firsthand hanging out with Donna. More than once. Yeah. I have seen it many times.
Yeah.
Why are you attacking me?
Right. And you can't, just because you're trying to defend yourself from some clear, the evidence is there.
Yeah.
I mean, Liz, your lawyer, you're always looking for the evidence to support the thing that's happening, right? You're always evaluating.
Yes.
And so you look and you say, hey, you guys didn't bring us water. You didn't come and see us. And then they go, I'm not racist. How dare you?
Right. How dare you?
So what Trump is doing right now is that he tried to harm us. He tried to overthrow. He tried to harm Americans. He tried to overthrow the government. It was an act of sedition. We could all see it with our eyes.
Yeah.
He's not in prison. He's our president again, right?
Again.
Thanks, Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Thanks, Obama. We can go on.
We're going to Obama now? Okay.
Thanks, Merrick Garland.
I'm sorry.
All right.
So go ahead, Courtney.
Oh, no. I truly believe, because, Merrick Garland didn't go through with prosecuting Trump to the full extent of the law, that's why we're in this moment right now.
So let me ask you a question.
Well, Joe Biden being the president is why we're in this now, but yeah.
But
that too,
Joe Biden is the root cause of all evils for the past 30 some odd years.
We can keep going back. Like, there's so many hands here, right?
Yeah.
There's so many hands here. And Reagan was, at the time, in his era, was considered to be going far. He was like the Trump of his era. People were like, what?
Yeah.
And when you go, they're pulling out stuff that Ronald Reagan said that goes against the things that Donald Trump is doing. So if they thought that, we thought that was far. Mm-hmm. When I was a little kid, we were like, wow. And look at this. The other question I wanted to ask is, there's another question under all these questions. We can talk about it. People are reading this stuff. They open up Apple News in the morning. They're looking at MSNBC, CBS, CNN. They're checking the news. We're reading Atlantic, The New Yorker, The Wall Street Journal, The New York Times. BBC, Al Jazeera. So people are looking at these news stations, and I just don't feel they're going all the way. Well, Courtney and
not
I
in America, no.
have been going all the way.
You have to go offshore to get all the way.
So here's what I got for you. There is a question. There's a why in this. It's the next question, right? Like Maria knows they do this in the Ivy League, right? People are asking the question, but what's the next question that question leads you to? So we're going to ask the next question. Why? And it's not because he's mad at Americans and he's punching his teddy bear. That's not it.
Well, that's, I think, a side effect.
It's definitely his personality to do that. But in order for people at this level to act, they must have the collusion with the invisible hand. Courtney, talk about it.
Let me hold on real quick, Courtney. Let me give the bottom of the hour and the disclaimer. You're listening to Surly Voices on WMNF Tampa 88.5. We are talking about the current situation up in Washington with the the non-resistance of the Democratic Party.
The play dead resistance.
Yeah. Possum. Yeah. The possum defense.
The possum resistance, yes.
Yeah. All right. So you can give us a call at 813-239-9663, or you can email to dj@wmnf.org. And the opinions expressed on Surly Voices are those of Surly Voices and not those of WMNF. All right, Courtney, what's the why?
Well, first, I would like to ask, could you clarify your question? So are you referring to Trump?
So we were reading and looking at some materials coming into this interview. You showed me some things. I showed you some things. And we are in agreement on a great number of things. That this is essentially the dismantling of the U.S. hegemon, right? Like, you guys have to understand this, that this is not just Trump, having a slumber party and not inviting people that he doesn't like. And like Liz said, there's an element of that here, but then there's something else. There are other degrees here. And without the collusion of the global oligarchs, I mean, we're talking about Gulf money, right? There's a lot of money in the Gulf. I do not believe that Elon Musk is the richest man in the world.
No.
I believe the richest man in the world is rich in land. I mean, King Charles has more hectares, as they call them in the UK, than anyone else in the world. And if there's ever been anything close to real estate, they call it real estate for a reason, it's land. He owns almost all of New Zealand's land. Okay?
Yeah.
And so how have stock that's in the vapors right now?
Right.
How does that make you? It's just more American seated hyperbole.
Yeah, because Musk is leveraged to the hilt. I mean, Donald Trump is out there stumping Teslas on the White House lawn.
Yes.
And so that tells you, right? I mean, if he was really the richest man in the world, he wouldn't need the president of the United States selling his cars that people are bombing the.
Right. It's all computer. And you know what? That's what he said when he got it. It's all computer. What are you? This is stone. What are you, caveman? It's all computer. It's like, where did you come from? A time machine?
Yeah.
So the other thing is, debt is an American way of life.
Yep.
Right? Even if we have enough money to pay for our lives, we're all carrying debt for some reason. And it's kind of worked into our psyches as you must have debt, whether it's student loan. A mortgage is debt. You do not own the house. Your car payment is debt. You do not own the car. Right? They'll take it back from you if you don't continue to make your installments. So you don't own it. Americans own few things.
Right.
And I promise you that Prince Charles isn't carrying any debt.
No.
Right? And if he has a black card, it's being paid off every month. And the sheikhs in the Gulf don't have any debt. Nope. And we say that a man who's rich in stocks that have dropped $150 billion in 8 weeks, he's the richest man in the world.
Yeah, no.
That is more American exceptionalism, more hyperbole.
Yes.
But go on, Courtney. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, just a simple search on Google shows that, the Saudi royal family is the richest
Of course.
royal family in the world. They own, it says, $1.4 trillion. That's their estimated net worth.
And that's what we know about, not the things that are hidden. Right?
Yes.
They wouldn't say we're worth $4 trillion because nobody should say you shouldn't say that.
Oh, no.
Right.
$1.4 trillion.
That's like
That's an unthinkable amount of money.
you can't even the mind. And I'm sorry to interrupt, but the mind can't even conceive what a billion is. And I'll give you an example. You can put $1 million in a suitcase, but you need 13 trucks to put $1 billion in $100 bills. Wow, that's the difference. Right, there's a thing on the internet that shows you physically with your eye so that you can see how big of a number that is. That's like a Google. I mean, like the average mind can't tell the difference between a 1.4 trillion and a Google. You look at it and your eye just says, okay, yeah, it's a lot. Your brain says a lot. Go ahead.
Let me read this. Let me read this text real quick, Donna, because I think it needs addressing. The GOP is tearing apart the fabric of democracy piece by piece by unilateral methods, and your intro into this show first blasts the Democrats. I don't see any of my WMNF membership money going to this show for any time in the near future. Randy in Palm Harbor.
Okay. That's fair. I mean, it's fair. I mean, it's like and WMNF is like a menu, right? And there are some shows. I love E-Love's show, right? I love the big gay radio show.
Yes.
Okay. I love this show, of course, because I'm on it. I like Talking Animals. Okay.
Yes.
And I like the Friday show. I love that show. And there are some shows I don't listen to because it's just not my cup of tea. And we absolutely hold that in regard and respect that. But we will maintain this, Randy, respectfully, because we want to respect our listeners, is that the Democrats are going to continue to lose to the detriment of millions of people. And if there ever was a time to not play nice as a member of the Democratic Party, or as a person that is tasked with providing insight and analyses around current events, we can't simply glaze or gloss over that. And if that means some people are going to say, yeah, thumbs down, okay, you're in the Coliseum. Some people are going to say, hey, we don't want that. And I think that's perfectly okay. We respect that. But we're going to maintain that. In order to solve your problem, you must name it. And as members, I took all the money that I normally give to candidates last year. And I'm using it now to luxuriate on my lawn and have indulgent
Lady
brunches.
Bridgerton.
Lady
And
Bridgerton brunches. One of her tags is no kings, no exceptions. No exceptions. And that means, if our party if the Democrats are harming, if my party is harming millions of people, right now we've got, and let me just go down a quick list before we go back to Courtney. My party has Muslim students who stood up for what's right, arrested, detained, and what I'm sure are deplorable conditions, being abused and harangued. What's all of this harangue for? We've got entire communities in Plant City and in Tampa that are afraid that ICE is going to come and snatch them away from their children, their families. We've got Black people who don't even know where they fit into any of this, but based on our history, we know it's not good. Right. We've got women concerned about their rights around their bodies, bodily autonomy, trans people who want to leave the country. This is not just a causative of what the Republicans are doing. We had a right to Democrats had a duty to defend the people of this country and have not and are not doing so. And I personally, and I do not speak for the radio station, am not willing to let that go.
Right.
Nope. Not at all.
And to Gary in St. Petersburg's point, this Doge eviscerating the Medicaid program, I think a lot of people don't realize that with Medicaid and some of the public benefits available to the disabled folks, they're all thinking welfare queens and all this kind of stuff, which is an absolute fallacy, and that's been proven over and over again. Medicaid is one of the biggest funders of nursing home care, and we're living in a state with a large elderly population. So that is going to have a huge impact on Florida.
And they tell them no more town halls. They don't want to hear from their own people.
Right.
And so definitely if the Democrats want to not repeat, Democrats have already made those mistakes. And now Republicans have seized power, and they're now saying we don't want to hear from the least of us.
Right.
And if that's where the United States is going, then the critiques that we're getting from other parts of the world are correct.
Oh, the critiques,
they are. Absolutely.
They're absolutely correct. Yeah. Because, you don't need to... All you need is eyes.
I got young organizers that I have mentored through the years that have become powerhouses. And I'll say a name later, but I won't say it now but they're listening. And I want to give comfort to the young people who are doing this work, because once upon a time I was a young people that was doing this work, and man, I really thought I had it. I thought I understood it, and I was going to, unravel the Gordian knot.
Right.
And now, in my middle years, by no means old, still filled with vigor, right? And zeal. Right? But I don't know if I'm going to get to have the vigor and zeal experience.
Not unless we go base jumping or something. No,
And so I want to say that I saw a video the other day that said, do you have what it takes to be an activist? And it went on to say that, it's boring. You're just making phone calls. It's just a bunch of administrative tasks. You're calling people. You're sending reminder emails. You're saying, hey, am I going to see you on Thursday? People are it is, though.
Yeah.
It is. It's a lot of mundane tasks. You just have to continue to be in conversations with people.
Right.
And you're having the same conversations about the same things. You're posting the same stuff in your social media. And people will tell you, hey, you're out of pocket. Hey, you have to sit down and listen to this man who's stealing the country say that. But guess what? You don't. The Constitution says you have a duty to stand up to this. And so holding someone accountable in their duty, it's still the jobs of people like me, of people like Corey Weckerly, of people like Courtney Marie, of people who are still AOC even, Jasmine Crockett, anyone that's willing to stand up and say absolutely not.
Yes. Absolutely. Even though Jasmine Crockett's putting in $5 in her pocket every time she
if
talks.
it gets bad enough, I might just send the $5.
Yeah, really.
I know.
Okay. If she becomes a voice in the wilderness, I guess I'll have to just go ahead and
it's like, hey, start you a Patron, All right, let's talk to Fran in Largo. Hi, Fran.
Hi. Thanks for letting me put my 2 cents in again. Listen, I hope I don't screw this up and I get my point across the way I want to. First of all, is it the Second Amendment? That's the gun rights amendment?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I wish I had a copy of that in front of me, but I don't. Isn't there in that amendment something about a well-armed militia able to, I'm just doing this off the top of my head. A well-armed militia able to do something if there is an enemy government or a government that's going against the country or something. Isn't there some kind of wording in that amendment? I know the Republicans were so big on protecting this amendment and everything. Basically, I'm thinking, is there some way really that this could be turned around against them? You know where I'm going with this.
Yes.
Where I'm going with this. Okay, that's the point I wanted to get across. And if you want to talk about that, fine. I just wanted to put that little bit in.
Okay, thanks, Fran.
So here it is. What Fran I think is pointing to is that the idea of the Second Amendment states that it's a well-regulated militia being necessary to the scrutiny of a free state. the right of the people to bear arms shall not be infringed.
Right.
That's it. And so basically this was like in times of threat, public threat.
Right. Because England could come back and take back the United States if the folks weren't armed.
Regulated militia. This is the same language they use to say that it might possibly lead to Native Americans, it being said, we've debunked this already. But the argument that they used was that any people that received this regulation from through the BIA would not be necessarily stand to reason citizens. Donald Trump went on to say that African Americans, that the naturalization, the citizenship process, birth citizenship, was something that came about for African Americans so that the descendants of slaves could become citizens of the United States, right? And it didn't apply to indigenous people. Just another wedge issue, another way to split people, because there's another conversation that we'll get in on another show about who was here first and do African Americans, well, whatever. Okay. Now, having said that, I will say that the idea of Buddy Bob having a gun in his living room, a wall of arms, is probably not what the Second Amendment is.
It was absolutely not. The problem is
gently here.
Yeah, the problem is the NRA has propagandized gun ownership so well that people have totally reinterpreted. Yeah, let's see Clarence Thomas, who is a strict constitutionalist who believes exactly the written words. Let's get his opinion on that.
Well,
that'd be
Clarence Thomas, let's just stop right there, since we're walking down the scenic path this morning. When you are walking on the lighted path, okay? We're on the lighted path. So let me say this about Clarence Thomas. Y'all know he started out as a black militant?
What?
Hey.
No.
Surly Voices brings the...
No.
Yes, he did.
Oh, wow.
Yes, he did. So you got to know. So you know who you're talking to. You know who you're looking at. You know what you're seeing when you know where they came from. You must understand people's motivations.
I thought he was from, South Georgia somewhere and raised by his grandparents. I never heard anything about him being militant at all.
He was. And they did it. It's on Netflix. It's in plain sight. It's right there.
I'm going to go watch that.
Yes,
We're going to talk about that next week.
So he was a black militant person. That's where he started out. It was in college when he got rejected for that he went over to the dark side because he wanted to be famous. Like all these people, Charles Manson, Louis Farrakhan, they all want to be famous. That's their goal, right? Remember, he was hanging out with the Beach Boys guy, and then he didn't get the contract. And
that's
then he went
Charles
over the
Manson,
edge, right?
not
So
Clarence Thomas.
Louis Farrakhan was a musician. He didn't make it as a musician. So, right? Yeah. Okay. So
he's a violinist.
All of these people have their history in pursuing fame because there's something missing, right? And so they get it how they live it. And so he didn't get it, being a person who was saying, come on out and, support your people. So he went over, he was ridiculed. So he went over to the other side. It's not something I'm making up. It's
Lord.
right out there in plain sight.
That's definitely on the menu for next week.
So basically, that's his villain origin story.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, and wait, one more thing I got for you, because we say we bring the tea, right?
Yes.
Elon Musk on video walking with Obama circa 2013-14 and saying that he didn't believe that Republicans had enough empathy.
Wow.
Go ahead and sit down now.
Talk about the pot calling the skillet. Lord. All right, let's talk to Jeanette in Clearwater. Hi, Jeanette.
Hi. I'm just wondering what you think about the Democrats voting against doing a government, saving the government from a shutdown, because that would be something that I think would be good.
I'd like to hear from Maria on that.
Yeah, Maria, you've been kind of quiet. Maria.
I'm not sure I understand the question.
What do you think the chances are of a government shutdown? And there's
I thought we talked about that in the beginning. I don't think there is one. Right. I think there's zero chance, because you'd have to find actually one vertebrate amongst the Democratic leadership in the Senate.
And they do not exist.
And you're not even going to get them to make amendments to kick it back to the House.
So you're going to have no fight. No fight.
Yeah.
No fight at all. And it's it's disgraceful.
So no matter what, there's not going to be a government shutdown.
I don't think there is.
I don't think there is either.
I think that
They're gonna
I don't
capitulate.
think that I think that they are in this. I don't even know that they know what they're doing, quite honestly. And I wish that they could find their inner Mitch McConnell amongst them, because there was a Mitch McConnell before he started falling down the stairs that thwarted.
I didn't mean to laugh. I did. I didn't. Maybe I didn't.
Yeah.
That thwarted everything that Obama did when Obama had a veto-proof majority in the Senate. He had a majority in the House when he first got in there in 2009, and they stopped him at every turn. These people need to find their inner Mitch McConnell, but they can't. I don't think they have it in them. And I don't even think that they care. I just don't.
They're still
They're
getting,
willing
getting
to
paid either
sacrifice your
way.
Social
Yeah.
Security and your Medicaid and your Medicare to appease their
Corporate
their
donors.
donor base.
So are we basically screwed then, the Democrats?
Yes.
We're screwed until we do something about it as voters, right? Like the fight is coming from the streets. The fight isn't coming from the halls of Congress. We're going to have to, if anybody, and I think it's a remote possibility that these two congressional seats in Florida change, the one in New York change. They're going to have a special election now in Houston. Unless we change our representation, nothing will change.
And let me give you an example. Let's put our eye.
Thank you for calling, Jeanette.
Thank you, Jeanette. Let's put our eye on the Sylvester Turner, whom we helped. I ran his field program.
Did you?
Yes, I did, and helped him become the mayor of Houston in 2015. Now, let me tell you something. The Sylvester Turner he was good for Texas. It's hard to be a mayor in a major Texas town. And I think he did a great job. And then he took Sheila Jackson Lee's seat after she perished. And he was known to have advanced stage bone cancer at the time they selected him.
Wow.
We can't make mistakes like that.
Yeah.
So now I'm not saying that Sylvester was just like a pawn on a board. He's a person. But he was in advanced stage bone cancer with a really grim prognosis when he was selected, when he was tapped to take that seat. Right. It's important when we're talking about don't say anything bad about Democrats. It's important that we are noting, and we all know that. We saw what happened with Cori Bush. We are trying to mount an offensive in Florida CDs 1 and 6 to flip these seats. CD 1, where Gail Valmont is running against Randy Petronas, is singularly the most Republican district in the state of Florida. So the chance is beyond remote because they outnumber registered Democrats almost 200,000 to 160,000. Right? Those are rough numbers because it's been a week since I read them and I'm reading them off the page in my mind. Now, in District 6, which is, they raised $450,000 last Saturday, y'all. But nothing ever stops Democrats from dumping mounds of money for no reason. Could you imagine what that $450,000 would do for grassroots organizing in Florida when it's probably going to yield absolutely nothing? Now, speaking to that, I want to talk to this question. Melanie Williams, I believe, is in Tallahassee. This is the Melanie that I'm thinking of. Hi, Melanie. And wants a temperature check on grassroots movements in the South. Who has it right and who is missing the mark? And let me just say this, because I have a feeling I know the type of group that you're working with. And I'll say this about it. If you are still talking to grass tops, right? And for the Black community, that means the Divine Nine and this organization, Jack and Jill, the Lynx, the Toba crowd. If you're only talking to those people, let me tell you, the people that you need are the districts that aren't voting in South Tampa. If you're not talking to the people in those communities, because I don't know how many friends folks in those elite circles have in the communities where we have 0 votes coming out of. Whomever is getting to that group of folks, they're going to win. They're raising the army. So that's who's getting it right. People who are skipping over the grass tops, many of whom are in these spaces to be seen and to advance their own material cause. Yes. We'll say that politely. Then you're missing the mark. If you're still just talking to people, if you are looking for celebrities to come to your events and speak, you are missing the mark. In other words, if we know who the person is that is the keynote speaker at your gala that they charged you $50 a plate for at the Marriott, you're missing the mark, folks. So whoever is talking to, if you're in a room and everybody in that room has an advanced degree, you're in the wrong room to win. Because the way that Republicans won, is they talked to the folks in the communities that have all types of socioeconomic stressors. Those are the people who are not voting. Those are the people who have tuned out these conversations, even the one that we're having this morning. So I'll just reiterate for you. If everybody in your room is well-heeled, you're missing the mark.
You're missing the mark.
Okay.
Exactly.
We got a lot of emails.
Okay.
A lot of text.
Get to reading.
All right. Okay. So Karen Underwood says, I like this one. Don't respond to this. We're just going to keep going. Surly's, as you know, as well as our government, now more than ever, is pay to play. Citizens United Supreme Court decision made sure of that. And of and for the rich. Of, by, and for the rich. That's where we are. The rich will keep taking until we stand up. Cheshire Cat.
Karen. We're not in a political war, and people don't realize that. We are in a class war.
It's not the left and the right, it's the ups and the downs. Yep. Okay, I believe we're heading to the biggest recession this country has ever seen, possibly a depression. Ever. Martin Johnson says, this is exposing the Democrats. The DNC is right of the Reagan Republicans.
Yes.
Reagan. Okay. The only ones looking out for people are few and far between. Bernie is one. We need to take the bribes out of politics. That's the bribe for everybody. That's the
bribes and lobbying. Yes.
No, not 13 trucks to hold 1,000 suitcases. 13 trucks to hold the bills. Okay. No. I'll bring it in next week. I absolutely love your show. Thanks so much, Pat in Sebring.
Thank you, Pat.
Let's see here. Lauren says, this was a press release. I don't think that's for us.
Nope.
Let's see. New text message here is, I, for one, was very glad to hear the show start out by calling out the Democrats as complicit, because they are. Being a moderate right-wing party, and no matter how distant, lesser evil, are not accomplishments worthy of saluting or admiring.
Thank you, Charles in Tampa.
Okay. Then we have several points. One, we need to solve the problem of physical threats to elected officials who break ranks in order to move forward. Check. The problem started with private military organizations like Elk Prince's Blackwater, but oligarchs have radicalized former prisoners, current high-skilled military, to use their own security force as they control the rules by force.
Yes.
Two, we need to laser focus the message to listeners to call 202-224-3121 and call all day and let their senators know they will hear from us. They must listen to the people. And 3, I want you to keep contact with your first caller, Gary from St. Pete. And please reach out to me to provide care. Let's see. P.S. Welfare queens exist. Brett Favre is a welfare queen.
Yes.
All right. I like that. He's talking about.
I love that.
Okay. Let's see. This is, let's see here. Yeah, Sean got that. He found a well-regulated militia being necessary. He was looking for that language that Fran, and we did get that. I've memorized that because people ask me about that too often.
Wow.
So what's up with the Second Amendment? And then I go back to that. Well-regulated militia has nothing to do with Bubba having an arsenal. Okay. Hi, ladies. I'm tuning in late, so I missed most of your show. But as always, y'all do an excellent job. I'm writing concerned about what Musk said recently about Social Security. He's claiming that cuts are necessary because of fraud. I think that's all the time we have, you guys. Get them in at halfway mark so we don't lose you.
All right. Thank you so much for listening.
Thanks, Courtney.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, we want you back, Courtney. Anytime.
Yeah. I would love that. Yeah, I've had so much fun here today.
All right. So thank you for listening to Surly Voices on WMNF Tampa 88.5. Please stay tuned for next week's show at 10 o'clock.
I like diamonds, I like stunning, I like shining, I like $1 million deals. Where's my pen? Bitch, I'm signing. I like those Balenciagas, the ones that look like socks. I like going to